One of the biggest problems women are facing in dating today is that we think men are complicated. They're actually not. Men are fairly simple, and if you understand how men love, how they think, and what they're actually looking for, dating becomes a lot clearer and a lot less frustrating. So, today I want to help you date intentionally so you're not wasting time getting emotionally attached to someone who was never ready to build a life with you. I'm Crystal. I'm a relationship coach for women and the creator of Amor de Luna. I use science and biblical wisdom to show women how to build strong foundations in dating, marriage, and in their singleness journey so they can grow into the best versions of themselves. And the reason why I combine science and the Bible is because I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want you to see that what I'm teaching is backed by psychology, neuroscience, and thousands of years of wisdom. One of the reasons women keep getting frustrated in dating is because we're not dating intentionally. We go on dates, we have fun, we spend time together, and before we know it, our brain is already attaching to this person emotionally. And that's not your fault. Your brain is literally designed to do that. You start liking someone, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. Dopamine is the reward chemical, and oxytocin is the bonding hormone. So the more time you spend with someone without addressing values and intentions, the more attached you're going to feel to them, which is why I encourage women to ask important questions early on in dating, preferably first or second date. Even if it's a little intimidating, because if you wait too long, you're going to start ignoring red flags because your brain is already emotionally attached. Now, when I say men are simple, I don't mean in a negative way. Men are incredibly intelligent, just as women are, and they're capable. What I mean is that their emotional needs in relationships are usually very direct. But men want respect, men want appreciation, they want peace, and they want purpose. For example, psychologist John Gottman studied years, around 40 years of marriages. And one of the strongest predictors of their success was whether men felt respected. He also studied thousands of couples and found that men are far more sensitive to criticism and disrespect in relationships than women are. So respect is a core emotional need for men. So when men feel respected, valued, appreciated, they thrive. And when they don't, they withdraw. And interestingly enough, the Bible actually explains this dynamic very clearly in Ephesians 5:33. It says, "Each one of you must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband." So the Bible highlights two primary emotional needs. Women need love. Men need respect. Now, this doesn't mean women don't deserve respect or men don't need love, but these are the areas that each gender tends to be more sensitive to. The Bible also talks about the structure of the household. In Ephesians 5:23, for the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church. Now, a lot of people misunderstand this verse. This isn't about domination or control. This is about responsibility. The man carries the responsibility of leadership and protection, but the woman is the heart of the household. And we see that beautifully in Proverbs 31. We all know the Proverbs 31 woman is not weak. She was an entrepreneur. She bought land. She managed finances. She supported her family. She built things. So biblically, women have always been powerful contributors to their families and communities, but the men carry the responsibility and protection and provision. So when those roles work together, family thrives. Science actually supports these differences too. Men tend to compartmentalize more, which means they focus intensely on one task at a time, whereas women, on the other hand, tend to have a stronger connectivity between both hemispheres of the brain, which is allowing us to multitask, emotionally process situations, and really read social cues very quickly. And this is why women sometimes overthink men's behavior. We're connecting dots everywhere, while men are focused at one thing at a time. One of the best questions you can ask men early on in dating is, what did your last relationship teach you about yourself? I want you to just listen, because the way a man answers that question will tell you everything you need to know about his emotional maturity. If he takes accountability and reflects on his own growth, that's a really good sign. But if he blames his ex for everything that went wrong, a red flag. A man who's ready for marriage reflects on himself. And if he goes too much into detail about any situation, he's probably not over it. Now, most people believe and have heard about the 5 love languages: words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, physical touch, and gifts. And once you identify someone's love language, it's really plug and play. You figure out what makes them feel loved and you intentionally incorporate that into the relationship. And it doesn't have to be anything big, just something small every day to show them that they matter to you. Because love isn't just a feeling, it's a daily choice. Another really important thing to understand is the attachment styles. Psychology identifies 3 main ones: secure, anxious, and avoidant. Secure people communicate clearly and regulate emotions well. Anxiously attached people fear abandonment and seek reassurance constantly. Avoidant people fear vulnerability and tend to pull away when emotions feel overwhelming. A lot of couples end up being anxious and avoidant paired. Great pairing. And even though many psychology books say this is a difficult combination, it can work if both partners are willing to grow. The goal isn't to stay anxious or avoidant forever. The goal is to grow into a secure attachment together. Avoidant people regulate emotions through space. Their nervous systems gets overwhelmed by too much emotional intensity. So if you're with an avoidant partner like I am, and they pull away, chasing them will usually push them further away. But if you give them space and allow them to regulate, they will usually come back. Similar to like a cat. If you chase a cat that wants space, it runs away. But if you let the cat come back when it's ready, it will return and want to cuddle with you, right? Now, anxiously attached partners, that's your girl over here, need reassurance and communication. They need to feel secure. So carving out time for communication, connection, and consistency can help calm their nervous system. But both partners have to be willing to grow, like I said, because the goal is not to stay in those attachment styles. Now, the real key to loving someone well is studying them, learning their love language, understanding their attachment style, and paying attention to how they respond to stress. Because when you understand how your partner experiences love, you can really love them intentionally, which was my mistake because I didn't study my partner, my husband. But before you can truly love someone well, you need to understand yourself, your triggers, your fears, your strengths, because the goal isn't just to find the right husband. The goal is to become the kind of person who attracts the right husband. And for me personally, faith has played a huge role in that journey. James 1:5 says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, ask God, who gives generously." Discernment is the ability to recognize when something's wrong and when something's right for you. And when you learn to trust that discernment, you stop ignoring red flags. We moved inside. Now we don't have this craziness outside. I'm new here. So the one thing I want women to understand is that when a man is truly ready for marriage, the way he dates changes completely. Men who are dating casually are looking for fun, chemistry, companionship. But men who are dating intentionally are looking for a wife. And the way men look for a wife is actually very practical. Most men subconsciously ask 3 questions when they're considering women for marriage. Question 1: does she bring peace into my life? Men spend a lot of their lives in environments that are competitive, stressful, and demanding. Work, responsibilities, financial pressure, providing. So when men think about marriage, they're asking themselves, is this person going to make my life more peaceful or more stressful? And research actually supports this. Again, going back to Dr. John Gottman, he found that men are extremely sensitive to criticism and conflict in relationships. So when a man feels constantly criticized or disrespected, he emotionally withdraws. But when he feels supported and respected, he invests more deeply. So question 2 that they ask themselves is, can I trust her with my life? Men take marriage very seriously when they're ready, because the man, marriage isn't just romance. Marriage means responsibility, responsibility for a household, for children, long-term commitment. So men look for a woman who shows emotional stability, integrity, and loyalty. This is why mature men are very attracted to women who take care of themselves emotionally, mentally, physically. Question number 3: does she support my purpose? Purpose is incredibly important to men, just like us, just like it is for us. Psychologists have found that men often derive a strong sense of identity from achievement and contribution. That doesn't mean women don't have purpose, but men tend to tie their sense of worth to what they've built and what they provide. So when men are looking for a wife, they're asking themselves, will this person support the life I'm trying to build? Not financially necessarily, but emotionally, encouragement, belief, support. Now let's talk about why men take dating seriously. Another thing that shows that a man is simple is how they become when they're serious about someone. When a man is serious, he becomes consistent. He introduces you to his world. He talks about the future, he prioritizes you, and they're actually very direct when they're serious. It's usually us who try to interpret mixed signals. But mixed signals usually mean one thing. He's either unsure or not ready. A man who is ready for marriage usually moves with clarity. Now let's talk about how men process dating differently. Men and women also process things differently psychologically. Women often date looking for emotional connection first. Men often date evaluating compatibility over time, which means a man might date someone for a while before deciding if she fits into the life he's building. This is why intentional dating conversations are important early, because you want to know, is this person dating for fun or dating for marriage? Another thing I want women to understand is that most men don't get married because they're in love. Men get married when they feel ready for the responsibility. This is why you sometimes see men stay in long relationships for years and then marry someone else very quickly. It wasn't about love. It was about readiness. When a man feels financially stable, emotionally mature, and ready to lead a household, that's when he starts thinking about marriage seriously. In marriage, men often experience love through respect and appreciation. And again, this doesn't mean women don't deserve those things too, but men tend to feel deeply valued when their efforts are recognized. When a man feels like his wife appreciates him, believes in him, and supports him, it strengthens his motivation to provide and protect. This is why respect is such a powerful emotional need for men. Now, women are incredibly intuitive. We read tone, body language, subtle shifts in behavior, which is beautiful, but sometimes that intuition leads us to overanalyze men because men tend to communicate more directly and simply. Sometimes a man saying, I'm tired, literally just means he's tired. Not that something deeper is wrong. Understanding these differences can reduce so much conflict in relationships. So, if men are simple, how do we love them well? It comes down to a few core things: respect, encouragement, support, and understanding their emotional needs. This doesn't mean abandoning your own needs. Healthy relationships involve both growing and learning how to love each other well, but understanding how men experience love can make relationships so much smoother. Now, when it comes to marriage isn't just about falling in love, it's about choosing each other daily, studying your husband, learning their strengths, learning their fears, growing together, and becoming more secure together over time. This is exactly why I teach women how to grow themselves first, because when you understand yourself, your attachment style, your emotional needs, your strengths, you're naturally going to start attracting healthier relationships. So, if there's one thing I want you to remember from today's episode, it's this: men are not complicated. When you understand how they love, how they think, and what they value, relationships become much clearer. And when you combine that understanding with self growth, emotional awareness, faith, you start building relationships that are actually healthy and lasting. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe for more. And if you're listening on a podcast, follow my channel for more free training on how to level up as a woman, date intentionally, and revamp your marriage. Bye.